Thank you for joining us this Election Day as we take a live look at the Reverchon Recreation Center in Dallas County. North Texans are heading to the polls. Remember, if you have not cast your vote, polls close at 7 o'clock tonight, so you have about 8 hours left to get to your local site. Thank you for being with us this midday. I'm Kara Sewell, and we have everything you need to know before you do go out and vote with team coverage across North Texas. So Cleo Green is in Dallas County talking with voters and running through key items on the ballot. And Chris Sadeghi is in Denton County, where some residents are being met with confusion on Election Day with where they need to go vote. He'll join us ahead at 11:30. While voting is well underway this morning, we had crews at polling sites in Dallas, Tarrant, and Collin counties as polls opened at 7 a.m. A lot of folks actually waiting for the doors to open. A little rainy to start, but that did not deter any voters. So we are working to learn how many have shown up in the first few hours of those polls being open. An election administrator in Collin County tells us they had over 1,500 votes within the first 15 minutes. So yes, a few sprinkles never melted anyone. If you have not head out just yet, maybe you're planning on doing it after lunch or around lunch, we've got meteorologist Maria Ruiz. We've got Stasia Wilson here with us to help you around town. And that is the question now. We had those storms overnight and sprinkles this morning. Do you need the umbrella?
You know, if you're going to be out this afternoon, I don't think you'll need the umbrella unless you're in far eastern portions of North Texas, and I'll show you what that looks like on radar.
All right, so yes, okay, you had some issues this morning. Those are long gone. What are we dealing with right now?
Yeah, so, well, and just to further what Marielle said, you definitely, I think, need your coat.
Yeah, it's a little
so
chilly.
Much cooler out there. Those sprinkles didn't melt anyone, but they did cause some problems with the road this morning. Those are cleared up. And this is what you're dealing with right now. Your map looking a lot greener. If you are heading out, just a couple things I want to point out real quick. So this is right along US 80 westbound at Big Town Boulevard. Looks like you have one lane blocked there. It's minor backup, just a little bit of red there as you're heading toward I-30. And then also just basically east of that, I-30 eastbound at Dal Rock, you have one lane blocked, and it's really just for a short little stretch. I don't even see any red, but you can see your traffic a little bit thicker in that area. Really, that's all you're dealing with right now. We had an accident in Tarrant County right along I-30, and it looks like that is cleared. Okay, want to let you know what's happening as far as voters and going out to the polls. If you need a ride, this is some good news. Don't let transportation problems prevent you from voting today. A number of free options. DART is providing complimentary rides to the polls today. So your choices include everything from DART buses to the TRE between Union Station and DFW Airport. And Tarrant County residents also have the option of riding free. Here's a list of all the transportation services available to voters at no cost. Remember, to take advantage of these offers, passengers must show a valid voter registration card. All right, Marielle, I said it was cold outside earlier, but you know what? The sun's shining. Nice, cool, crisp, windy day.
I know, it's actually feeling like fall for your Election Day afternoon planner. Temperature right now in the low 60s, and it'll be about 64 degrees around 1. And again, breezy at times. So like Stacia said, you might want to grab a light jacket. I know I certainly did need one when I was outside. 66 degrees around 3, around 67 degrees by 5. Winds will eventually shift out of the northwest anywhere between 10 to 20. So yeah, at times it's going to feel breezy. Now sunset is happening earlier these days before 6. So that means the temperature drops off a bit quicker between 6 and 7. So around 7. Temperature of 61 degrees, and with that northwest wind, it is going to feel a little cooler than the actual temperature. So again, if you are planning on standing in line a bit later in the day, you want to make sure to bring that jacket. Right now it's 62 degrees, wind out of the northwest at about 14-15 miles per hour at DFW Airport. Drier air is filtering in, so it's bringing us the blue sky. And like I mentioned, any rain from this morning has pushed it to the east. Sulphur Springs, Mineola towards Canton, Athens, still dealing with a little bit of sprinkles with some drying out for the rest of us. Temperatures are in the 60s right now, area-wide, a few 50s closer to the Red River, but that's really about it. Hey, we do have rain in the forecast later this week. I'll bring you those details in just a bit.
Does feel nicer. Thank you, Marielle. So we are going to go out to Dallas County now, where there is a decent line. In fact, there's been folks waiting all over North Texas. Cleo Green has been out there since early 30. And Cleo, you've been talking with voters since before the polls opened.
Oh yeah, Kara, for sure. In fact, we just spoke to a voter who told us that he had waited for about an hour and a half to get inside of the building here. We're live here in Dallas County, right outside of the Reverchon Park Recreation Center. This is an old-time polling location. We're in the Oak Lawn area. In fact, right behind this building gives you access to the Katy Trail. Once again, voters waiting here for about an hour and a half. Now, as you said, we've been camped out here all morning long. In fact, we were here before the sunrise, and we were able to speak to voters who were standing in line. It was raining, and I'll tell you, I'll be very honest with you, they didn't want to share who or what they're voting for, but they were very open about why it's so important to get out here and vote.
It's our duty. That's all it is. We have a duty to it. If you want to have change happen, you actually got to let your voice be heard.
We all have this as a right to be able to come out here and vote, so use your right and come vote.
We all have our own opinions, and it's gotten to the point where we think that if you're not on the same side, that you're our enemy, and we're not really enemies. We're just voicing our opinion.
Yeah, and those voters were out here at about 6 o'clock this morning waiting for the doors to open at 7 a.m. You know, while all eyes are on the pick for president, there's a lot on the line locally as well. Here in Dallas County, the election ballot includes a collection of federal, state, and local races like state senator and county sheriff. There are also 18 propositions for City of Dallas charter and code amendments. Now, here's something that has gotten a lot of attention, propositions S, T, and U. They are 3 proposed charter amendments that have stirred up quite a bit of controversy. If approved, they'd actually increase police officer pay, require the city to hire more officers, and then make it easier for people to be able to sue the city. Now, the entire city council, police, and fire associations, the mayor included, and past mayors have all come out against them, claiming that they could actually break the city budget. Now, city leaders today, county leaders, they are really hoping for a good voter turnout today, and that's because early voter turnout numbers were slightly lower here in Dallas County compared to some of the bigger counties like Tarrant County reporting that they had 635,000 early votes compared to Dallas County at 633,000, so slightly lower. Every vote counts, which is why county leaders are hoping for a good turnout like this. Once again, some voters saying that they are waiting in line here at Reverchon Recreation Center for about an hour and a half to get inside and rock the vote. Kara, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Cleo, and thanks again for that update. So we want to give you a live look in Reno, Nevada as more people cast their votes this election day. A live look for you here. So people all over the country lined up at this hour. Trump and Harris were on the campaign trail up until late last night, pitching their cases in their final rallies to get people to head out and vote. Now it's time, just a matter of time rather, to see if their efforts do pay off.
Vice President Kamala Harris's campaign was a sprint from the start, launching 107 days ago, ending her campaign trail on top of the Rocky Steps in Philadelphia.
And here at these famous steps, a tribute to those who start as the underdog and climb to victory.
Harris spent months drawing a stark contrast between herself and her opponent, former President Donald Trump, then spent the final 2 days avoiding Trump by name, her campaign says, to end on a positive note.
Our campaign has tapped into the ambitions, the aspirations, and the dreams of the American people. And we know it is time for a new generation of leadership in America.
Trump's campaign has tried to steer focus toward issues related to the economy and immigration.
Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? And I've asked that question so many times. I've never had one hand go up for the other.
The former president calling this the end of one journey and the start of a new one.
And that's the one we've wanted to partake in, which is basically to make America great again. And now we'll have a chance to do it after today.
Well, you can make our streaming app, WFAA Plus, your home for Election Day. You can join me as our coverage begins at 9 a.m. This morning, we began with Mark. He's been on the air now for a few hours. I'm going to be over there overnight starting at 1 a.m., but we've got our Folks in Results show that's going to be kicking off at 6:45. That's right before the polls close. So WFAA Plus, free to download. We're going to be on all day long with live up-to-date coverage. You can download it to your smart TV through Roku, Amazon Fire, or through Apple TV.